Okay, so everybody's wanted me to do an Aqua rebuild. There's the Aqua. Alright, so I got the atomizer down here. I got the Origin in hybrid mode over here. I'm going to be loading Juice Mafia Fireball into this. I have a pair of scissors. I have a cotton ball. I have my ohm meter. I have some 28 gauge Canthal, which we're going to use to wrap it. I went out and picked up some new drill bits so y'all can see how I buy my drill bits. This is Milwaukee brand 764s. Yeah, there you go. They come in a 2-pack. They're like $1. I got the 510 base plate, the 510 pin, the hybrid pin, the chimney, the tank section, the top cap, the drip tip. We're going to move some of the stuff we don't need out of the way for now. I also got flathead pliers and tweezers. Okay, so what I'm going to start with is the deck. Okay, I'm going to open up my nice new drill bits. So we got 2 nice new drill bits. Okay. Now, I'm going to need 2 lengths of 28 gauge. We got 2 lengths of 28 gauge. We'll start with the drill bit. Hold the wire perpendicular to it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 wraps on there. Okay, we'll set that down. Pick up the other one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so we have 2 coils wrapped. I'll move some of this stuff out of my way. Next thing we gotta do is take our pliers and get that tight. So I'm going to take and pull down on this leg, tightening it up. Pull down on this leg, tightening it up. Okay. Go do the same thing on this one. Pull down on this leg, pull down on this leg. Okay, so we got them both tight now. These definitely aren't micro-coiled yet, and I want to fix this on the mod. So next thing we're going to do is loosen up our attachment points. Righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. So I'm going to take and move my coil down on this, and this one goes above, this one goes below. So it will wrap with tension. Okay, and then I'm going to take and secure those like that. Then I take my other one. Now it's going to go below and above this time, so that I'm wrapping with how the screw is going to turn. Okay, and getting the second one hooked in. Everything's always harder on camera. Now I'm I'm going to start snugging these up. I still have my drill bits in there, so I'm not worried about deforming my coils. Just snugging everything up. Okay. I'm just going to keep working around, pulling tight, pulling tight, pulling tight, pulling tight. Okay, now I'm going to take and start tightening these down. Not going super tight with them yet. I'm just getting everything kind of set in there. Now from here, I'm going to level out my coils, which will pull them away from the contacts a little, and then I'll squeeze this end and then squeeze this end. So my coils are off of the posts. I'm going to take all my leads, pull them straight up and down. Okay, and if you need to, go in with your tweezers or your pliers to get them away from your coils. The extra material just has to get out of the way. And then I'm going to reposition like so, and go back in with my scissors, and I'm going to snip off some of the extra. Like so. Okay. So there's still a lot of wire left there. We'll deal with that in a bit. Okay. Now if I need to, this is where I'll go in and make sure my terminals are super tight. Like so. Okay. And once again, just making sure my coils are even. Now, I'm going to take the 510 pin, screw that in. Put on the 510 base plate. Screw that onto my ohm meter. Turn around so you guys can read it. Now, I'm not going to get a real reading because my drill bits are in. So I'm going to go ahead and pull my drill bits out carefully. Like so. Turn it on, 0.57. But as you can see, there's lots of gap here. Those by far are not microcoils. So let me go ahead and turn this thing off and take a vape. Then take my Addy off of the mod I was vaping on. I could do this on the Origin, but I want to be able to go back and forth between the meter and the mod pretty simply, so that's why I'm using the 510 connector instead. Okay, so I'm going to start with the pliers since I have these spread out pretty far. Okay, and I'm going to hit it just once and look at it. Okay, so they're lighting, but like I said, we're nowhere near a microcoil yet. I'm gently squeezing. Gently squeezing. And then I'm going to fire it again. Okay. So what I'm going to do at this point is put my drill bit back in to get that back into round. Put my drill bit back in gently to get that back into round. Now don't force your drill bit through. Like you can see this one's hanging up on me. Gently wiggle. Gentle wiggle. We're back in. Okay, so while they're not perfect, they're a lot better now. Okay, so I'm going to pull my drill bits back out now that I got it back into round. And I'm going to go back with my tweezers now. So I'm going to fire it. I'm going to start squeezing and compressing. Not trying to win a strongman competition here. You just want it nice and tight. Now I'm going to do the other side. Gentle squeezing. Hit in, look at it again. Okay. This one's burning brighter. That one's burning brighter still. So I'm going to poke at it some and adjust it. Okay, we got our coils there. So what I'm going to do now, there is a little bit of a gap in there, but it's not any more or less than what I want. This isn't quite a microcoil build, it's close. So I'm going to grab my handy dandy fingernail clippers. I'm going to take those little extra bits we had and take them a lot closer down to the post. A lot closer to the post. Adjust the coils one last time now. And they're lighting even. Okay, so off the mod it comes. .71. So I got some of the shorting out of it. I got something a little loose. This coil, I'm glad this is happening on camera. This coil over here, I can tap it and it goes all around. So something's not quite buttoned down right. We just gotta figure out what's not right about it. So I'm going to touch, let me do it with the tweezer so you can see. I'm going to touch this lead. That seems okay. I'm going to touch the top lead now. It's that bottom lead. What I'm looking for is how much it jumps around. So we're back to the 0.57. Now if you notice when I touch it, nothing goes wrong. So let's see how it fires now. nice and even. Glad that popped up on camera finally. It does take some work to chase down a mod to find out where your shorts are. That's why we use meters, and we meter them before and after, and why we shake it around on the meter and touch our coils. Okay, so this one's built. Let's get to wicking. Getting some of the extra tools out of the way. Going to go ahead and take off the 510 connector and the 510 pin. Alright. So I have my juice, I have my cotton ball, I have the mod that it's going to work in. My desk is on an angle, lovely. I have my scissors, and I have the rest of the addy here. Okay, so first thing we gotta do is disassemble this cotton ball. Okay, this is sterile CVS cotton. I'm going to start poking and tugging at it, poking and tugging at it. I'm looking for that seam. I'm pushing up on it so I can get that center section out. Boom, there it comes. And it unrolls. Okay, so there's our cotton ball, and I'm going to split it right down the middle. Okay. Now, I do want a decent amount of cotton in this build, so I'm probably actually going to use half a cotton ball, like that. Okay. So I'm going to start rolling this in my fingers just to kind of get it round. Now, on Amazon, on eBay, they have these bamboo, they're used for drug paraphernalia. Joint rollers, basically. What's nice about using those while you're not rolling a joint, it keeps you from getting the oils in your fingers on your cotton and on your coil. So it greatly reduces the break-in time and that nasty taste you get like right at the beginning. So we went ahead and pulled our first wick through. And I got a little bit of bunching, so I'm going to back up just a little bit, smooth that out. We have our first wick. Second wick, we're going to do the exact same thing on the other side. Okay. Right through the center. Got some bunching, going to pull it back and touch it a little bit. There you go. Alright, so from here, next step is juice. I know it sounds weird because this is in no way ready to vape yet, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to paint this wick just a little bit. I want to have some moisture in it. Now I'm going to paint this one, this one, finally that one. Okay, and I'm going to take my tweezers and I'm going to chase this down. I'm not pushing, I'm just kind of directing into that juice channel. Okay. Same thing over here, kind of getting it set into that juice channel. Now they by all means are not going to stay there with just that little tiny bit of work. So from here, now I get to try to start the chimney. Okay. So we're just getting the chimney started. We want to make sure everything is kind of in the channels. Boom. Like so. Take your scissors, go back, Trim off any extra cotton. And then take your chimney back off. Now we really get to start working on these wicks. So I'm going to add more juice to it. Like so. And I'm going to get my wicking material into those juice channels. I want to make sure it's not on my thread. That's the main thing I'm doing, is getting it into those juice channels, not on my threads. In the juice channels, not on my threads. And we're looking good there. Now I'm going to juice up the coils itself. And that's what we got. Okay. So time to get this thing vaping. There's a EFES 35 amp that I'm putting through the paces. Go ahead, flip this over, put the hybrid pin in it. Go and put my chimney on. Now I screwed the chimney all the way down and then out just enough to break it free. Now I'm going to put the tank section on. And screw it all the way down. I'm going to put my battery in the mod. Make sure positive side's up. Put the Addy on. Not too much rattle. Listen for vape. It's vape. Okay. So we gotta fill this now. So I'm going to drop the battery out through the bottom. Set the battery over there in the switch. So gotta fill up this tank. This is Juice Mafia Fireball that I'm using, 6 milligram, 50/50. Okay, so I filled up the tank. What you're looking for here is you do not want to overfill this tank. If you go above those threads, when you go to this next part, which is putting on the top cap, it's going to leak all over you and be really grumpy. Okay, so right now I'm just getting this hooked. So I can hold it by that top cap. That tank section is definitely not closed off yet. But we want that air pocket we created to go down to the bottom of the tank. So we flip it over. Now we do have to open up the tank so it can breathe now. So what I'm going to do is take the tube off, open up the air holes on the tank just enough so it can let air out. And now I'm going to finish tightening this down so it'll push the excess air out through those air holes. Okay, boom, just like that. Now I'm going to close the tank off completely. So juice control is closed, airflow is closed. Okay. I'm going to put my mod back together now and get the bottle of juice out of my way. So, mod, battery goes in, positive up, Addy goes on, like so, drip tip goes in. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do is open up the airflow. If you don't have air, you don't have vape. Okay, now I'm going to give a quick puff on the mod. I'm getting air through. I know I'm going to need a little bit more juice, so I unscrew the juice flow control some and we have vape. So from start to finish, that's how you rebuild an Aqua. Hope this has been helpful.